Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!
And what is going on, everyone? I'll steal this guy's gimmick for a minute. That's, oh, wrong way. That's BJ over there.
See, it's hard doing the intro.
Well, I gotta get used to it.
Hello, everybody.
I'm the Danger Ginger, and welcome to the first Monday Night Raw after show here at BJ and DG Talk Wrestling.
What's up, Joe Hale in the chat? Cheers.
Hey, Joe Hale, how you doing? Oh. Yeah, I'll just let that pop up, because for some reason we can click that. The comments have gone off the rails from StreamYard.
That makes everything make so much more sense now.
We couldn't get that at WrestleMania for some closure. But speaking of WrestleMania, or more the road to WrestleMania,
Yeah.
I guess we should start off with how Raw ended.
Okay.
I mean, that's what it's going to be fresh in all our minds. We just saw CM Punk get put through an announce table and get the crap kicked out of him by Roman.
Yeah.
I do agree. It was, 3-4 weeks in a row now? Like, they've had a handful I just think this one was a lot of segment heavy tonight.
It was a good show, but in the last couple of weeks, they've been better.
Yeah, this was more of a story-driven show than a wrestling-driven show.
Forgot to put my hair on.
Boy, oh boy. As you can see, we're not used to doing this fully.
There we go.
But if things like this go good, this could become a regular thing.
Yes. I would love to do this every Monday night or even a watch along. Maybe this little shorter, don't have to be on camera 3 days in a row for multiple hours.
But yeah, man. So this last segment, CM Punk comes out after kind of having a stare down moment with Jimmy.
Right.
Uso in the back and Gorilla. Punk comes out, talks his trash. And eventually we get Jey Uso out. Which leads eventually to Jimmy coming out, talking about how Jay's temper's gotten the best of him recently. Especially tonight with the non-title tag team match. He used the Nux, got themselves disqualified, and now next week at MSG, they have to defend the tag team championships in a street fight against Division. Which, I'm going to be honest with the way, we'll talk more about it, but at the moment, my immediate impression is the titles could change hands with the way WWE's been booking the road to WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see it happening.
But
I want to.
Back on topic at the moment, Jimmy comes out talking all this stuff. You and me were watching it together. We had that moment where we were waiting for the double super kick to Punk.
They were in position, and then they kept rotating, and I was like, "Oh, it's coming!" But then again, at that point, we hadn't yet seen the tribal chief, and he was advertised, I believe.
And then eventually, hey, Roman's not even here. Roman, something in wrestling, which I give credit to Joe Hendry taking full advantage of, because it is a trope in pro wrestling. Somebody says someone's name, they usually appear. Joe Hendry just made it a gimmick. Good for him. There was a good tear for a while where KO would just be like, stop saying people's names because they're going to come out.
Yeah.
But back to this. Roman's trying to get the Usos to leave the ring. And as they're getting ready to leave, Punk says a smart ass comment, "Oh, y'all better stay. He's going to need y'all," which just was the beginning of the end for Punk in this entire thing that ended Raw.
Yeah, Punk just got massacred. Pull apart brawl. Pierce and a bunch of security comes
Yeah.
out.
Jay goes after him. Roman steps in, hits a Superman punch to the back of the head of Punk. Eventually gets the Usos out of the ring, but then Roman hits the spear as that's happening. Roman's going to leave, and you see Jay Uso fired up on the outside.
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
Uh, I mean, this was Roman getting revenge for last week.
Yeah, but it makes sense just a kind of back and forth, up until like whenever they're both there. I mean, I'm sure if Roman's not going to be there or whatever next week, Punk will just cut a
I-
promo or whatever. But I think
It's
the next
mad.
time they're there in person, CM
It's
Punk gets
Madison.
his
Yeah.
revenge.
It's Madison Square Garden, though, so you would think Roman
Yeah, Roman will
appears.
be
He
there.
doesn't usually miss those shows.
Well, best of luck to you, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Um, get
Best of
that
luck.
rest. Keep that stomach empty. Have a good night, dog. Hopefully we'll be seeing you soon, man.
But yeah, and then Jey Uso on the outside, just screaming, get him, get him. It leads to Roman throwing him outside the ring, throwing him into the ring post, smashing his head into the ring post, power bomb through the table. And even then, Punk got his ass kicked, and he's still sitting there like, I'm not the one that needs the help.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's definitely escalated since, their little scuffle last week.
That wasn't even a scuffle. That was just Roman getting in Punk's head.
Well, I know, but that's what I'm saying. So, the fire's been lit, like it's definitely escalated. Um, I feel like if they're in the same building on a Monday night, we're gonna see that same escalation for the next, what, 5, 6 weeks until. No, we're under a month now.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
18th and 19th.
Okay, so yeah, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're
Man.
not far off. But yeah, other stuff that happened in Raw this week, since we kind of talked about that closing segment there. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman opening the show. Which, by the way, how quick did the WWE merchandise department get that F5 shirt out? Like, as soon as he comes out, I'm like, really? Boy, that was quick. But I really enjoyed that opening segment. You have them out there
very
talk.
good.
Yeah, they're talking their trash, and then with you bring them up. So Oba eventually comes out, gets in the ring. It looks like Heyman. Lesnar's going to hit an F5, but Oba counters and just throws him out the ring.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like this is just the younger version of, if we were talking about 2002 Brock and Oba Femi. Like I just feel I see the mirroring of Oba and what they want to do with him, and
Right.
what better way than having him go up against Brock.
Yeah. I still don't think it's the best option, but I mean it works. I mean, and honestly, like
I'm
it's the best option for the Lesnar WrestleMania match with Seth not really, being available and just all the other options out there for a match.
I mean, we still don't even know if Seth's actually going to compete at WrestleMania.
That's what I'm saying. Like he hasn't been cleared to this point to our
Bro,
knowledge.
I know. Braun Breaker, I saw, will be reporting to the Performance Center sometime this week to attempt to get cleared and actually be
Right.
in ring.
Right.
Which I wish
So
I
what-
never saw that report.
And they're gonna use that, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna keep us guessing.
Good. Like I like the idea of that.
Honestly though, I don't think we see this match at Mania. Braun and Seth. Uh,
I think if we do, it literally gets booked that week.
Agreed, yeah, but I think we'll hold off on that and maybe build it up a little bit more.
I mean, at this point though, like the trajectory of all the stories, WrestleMania would still be a good time. There's still enough there for them to have the match.
Oh yeah, definitely, but like I don't know, it
But
would feel shoehorned in.
I feel like more now you could get to a point where
Even
the
though it was
feud,
probably the original plan.
the feud. Well, I still feel like the original plan would have been Seth drops the title to Punk at Mania in one of the main events. The next night on Raw, Braun Breaker turns, and we get that stretched out to SummerSlam. So that's the story,
Right.
the culminate at SummerSlam.
I
That
got you.
felt that would have felt more right, but with injuries and stuff and what they had to do, this all got changed, and I would still stay now with what they did. There's enough there, especially with him going after Heyman, and now that
Right.
Brock Lesnar's occupied. Unless they're going to do and give us something that would be completely hilarious, would be Seth Rollins versus. What did cross my mind
You
today
you
during
you you
during
you
that
froze.
follow?
You froze. You said Brock Lesnar versus, and then you froze.
No. Paul Heyman versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah. Why would they do that though?
I mean, we had Vince McMahon versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania, and it can't be any worse than that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gotten a lot less silly since that era.
But
You know what I
no.
mean?
But it's something to where there's one of those revenge things there, especially after the stuff Heyman said this week.
I get that. Yeah, I don't think they would do something like that though.
I do because it's the WWE. Well, I'm
Not in this
disappointed.
era. Vince would do something like that. I don't think Triple H would.
Nowadays I just don't know anymore. But the one way I could see them doing it is if it was
What's up,
Heyman.
Wyatt, in the chat?
Hey, Wyatt Wrestling, what's going on? Hopefully the rest. I know I was in your watch along for a bit. Hopefully the rest of it went good. Anybody ever wants to go check that out? Go check out Wyatt Wrestling Club, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch as well. Does a lot of other content wrestling related. Does WWE 2K content as well. But yeah, if it's a Heyman idea, I could see them definitely running with it. Especially considering how how depleted division is. I am glad to hear it went well, sir. And then there's like other things. Like I want to say it was on Wyatt Wrestling. I think they were speculating on LA Knight joining the division.
Honestly, at one point, when Heyman was out there calling out Seth, when he was like, "I'm all alone. It's just me. Let's settle this." I was like, "All right, who's the new member of the Vision who's going to come out and stop Seth?"
That
But
was the moment I thought that we could get a surprise Braun Breaker appearance.
oh yeah, no, he's no, absolutely not.
because he made it obvious that because he mentioned both him and Bronson Reed, and we know there's no chance Bronson Reed will be back anywhere close.
Right. Yeah, Breaker, I think he's still a little ways out, even though he's trying to get cleared. It's a short time for his injury. And I know it's been done before, but yeah, I don't see him being ready for Mania.
As I said on this Sunday show, for me it's 85% it doesn't happen, but 15% it does, because I've seen crazy things like that in the past. Even us, we've talked about, oh yeah, they're not going to do that. I mean, it could have Seth Rollins SummerSlam.
Well, that was a work from the beginning. You got to
Yeah,
remember that.
no, oh, I know
Uh,
that, but just the
and there were
idea.
signs, and there were signs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
As we
with this,
got closer,
with this,
it was like, yeah, this could
yeah.
happen.
With this, I don't know. It's a little bit different of a situation. I feel. But with that one, like, yeah. I mean, I was swerved for a little while. I was more leaning toward the injury was legit. But with this one, like, I'm 90% the injury's legit and as severe as they've said.
I mean, we know both these injuries are legit. Otherwise, Braun Breaker would have been back already. He would have
Oh,
had a better run in the Rumble.
not
Oh
not not Rollins' current injury, but the injury that kept him out of action over the
yeah,
summer.
for the SummerSlam match, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I was just
communication.
saying that's not the Braun Breaker scenario here.
Right.
We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
he's
These are
legitly
two
injured.
different situations.
He would have been in the Rumble longer and not just coming out number 2. Even though they had already spoiled that on SmackDown for the international broadcast and showed that he was going to be number 1. Way to botch that. But yeah, we kind of brought it up talking about the main event segment. Division defeating the Usos by DQ. Which we
Right.
later on, Heyman goes to all this, gets the Street Fight Tag Team Championship match booked.
Yeah, and there's some weirdness around that. Um
Yeah, yeah,
Pierce was all too happy to book that,
yeah.
and
I
it
mean, I
seems
think when it
like
comes to just torturing the Vision, all this is happy to do it.
oh yeah, yeah, but it really feels like Pierce might have something up his sleeve.
What would be up his sleeve?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe
So,
a special enforcer.
no. The Vision wins the tag team titles. He immediately comes out, kills their celebration, and books them in some type of multi-team match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Like, just pull the rug right out from under them.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Especially given the history with the group and Pierce.
Let's see, just running through the results here.
Becky Lynch promo, where she's
Yeah,
basically calling out AG. I mean, we all saw that coming. It set up their WrestleMania match for the
of
Women's
course.
Intercontinental Championship.
And I'll give it to
Backstage
her.
segment
It
with
was a
LA
good
Knight.
promo.
Yeah, we had a backstage segment with LA Knight and the Usos. Which I think they're planting the seeds for something with LA Knight. Even more, it makes me feel like with a lot of their segments recently that we could see a Bloodline reunion. Seeing all 3 of them in the ring tonight was purposely done.
So sick of anything bloodline related.
I'm all for it because I'm going to be honest, when it comes down to it, even though it was the Vince era, WWE was red hot at that point. That the creation of AEW and what they were doing there prompted them to do something that we wouldn't have seen before that. That angle would not have gone as long as it had if it had not been for AEW and there being competition because of how hot it was. And in the end, that storyline played out perfectly the way they did it. And they were able to bring it into that. The Cody rematch and Cody finally finishing the story, which now the world's on, okay, we're tired, which, what, I said it, I think I said it then, like, how long until the fans get tired of Cody being champion and they want to hop on the next up-and-comer?
I
The
can answer
next
that
person.
question. I can answer that question. When I heard he signed, I was already tired of him being champion. Um,
But,
Also, in 2019, in that era, with Roman on top of the world and everything, uh, he personally, he was the worst part of WWE programming for me. And Like the whole bloodline thing was the worst part
Well,
of it. It
2019
was
was
like
when he
it was
2019
like
was when he had to step away. He didn't come back
or
until
not
the middle of
2019. I'm saying like 2021. Yeah,
yeah, pre him leaving and coming back.
like the whole run. It was they were on fire with AEW. Like there was a lot of competition there. Um, and there was a lot of good stuff going on in WWE, a lot of bad stuff, but my least favorite part of that whole era was the whole bloodline thing.
I mean, once we
It
got
was
COVID, it
it was
just
like it was like, okay, I know the last half hour of every show is going to be a bunch of talking and no action and them standing around in the ring. And you know, like it was never and like sure, the PLE matches were great from that era. The main events with Roman against, you know, LA Knight and Logan Paul and Jey Uso, but week to week, that was what I looked forward to the least out of WWE programming during that era.
it honestly it was one of my highlights. Um, because when he left, like 2019 and before, it wasn't the fact that he didn't have good matches or good feuds. It was just little moments, like for example, the ambulance match I believe on Raw with Braun Strowman, where you just see that he's going to go for the spear and just launch himself into the ambulance like 5 minutes before it even happens. Like you just feel that moment coming. They just were doing things to try not to make him look weak, but instead of not making him look weak, they made him look inadequate. Like he wasn't living up to the potential, and then the whole leukemia thing happens right before COVID. He has to step away. We're in the Thunderdome era now, and we get this because let's me as a fan, not doing any of this yet or anything. I'm like, even if Roman's able to come back, I don't see him coming back until the world reopens again. You know what I
Sure,
mean?
yeah, as a
And
safety concern.
yeah, and just for that moment to happen, which funny enough, if you actually go back and watch that PLE where he returns, you'll see me on one of the screens at the bottom, completely going popping. I got caught popping on WWE TV for it because I
I-
didn't expect it.
If I was on one of those screens here, would have been my reaction. Who's the again? Oh, all right, give him the belt.
And it was just from there forward. I've always understood, and I do. We were talking about this before going live. The idea of the difference being going from the guy who can be there every week to like, hey, we want the title on this guy because it works for the story. But now he ran through everybody. All right, now he has the special contract. He shows up when he
I,
needs to or when he
I just
wants to.
never
And I
liked him as the guy, especially after Vince tried to cram him down everybody's throat. So him with this heel thing, like I get it, I get what they're going for, I get that it worked. Personally, I hate it.
it it just worked for me because his absence created the reset that he needed. He needed to
Oh,
be off
definitely, yeah.
TV.
Oh, it did wonders for his character. Yeah.
And also the idea of him coming back and his mission being to form the bloodline. We had Heyman with him, which was once you see Paul Heyman coming out with somebody, you're kind of like, maybe I should start paying a bit more attention now and not just veer off when he comes out. Because we're not talking about a Skip Sheffield situation here. You know, we're not talking about
You got to keep mentioning that name.
Kurt Hennig's son.
Yeah, right. Curtis Axel.
There we go. Which that's another story for a whole other time. Because I thought he
Or
was a perfect fit as a Heyman guy, personally.
or was it Joe Hennig?
Both names count.
Yeah. Either way, stop talking about them. Rybaxel.
Rybaxel. Oh.
Hey, the best Curtis Axel, the best version of Curtis Axel was B Team with Bo Dallas.
Um, one of the funny moments for me tonight, and I know I talk about this stuff every week with Danhausen. Danhausen cursing I Show Speed. I just hope there's a video at some point online of something happening to him.
Yeah,
I
that was a fun segment.
it's just I can't wait to go on Instagram at some point and see the dark segment that we don't see here in America of him going out with doing the t-shirt thing. Like, I look forward to seeing those on my timelines and stuff now. Let's see other things from Raw, because that's what we're here to talk about, and not the whole Sunday conversation types. Javon Evans and Grayson Waller.
So the next match was Javon Evans and Grayson Waller. Solid back and forth match. We saw pretty much what we've been seeing from Javon Evans, while Grayson Waller was really impressive, and he's been very impressive lately. I forget what the move was, but there was a huge spot that he hit, and there were times
The top rope Hurricanrana, which I was actually in the Wyatt Wrestling chat when that happened, and I'm like, everybody's super impressed by it. I'm like, Scott Steiner was doing that in the 90s.
Yeah, well, he can't now. A lot of impressive counters, a lot of just mind-blowing moves from Javon.
As
Javon,
always.
like, he can look like he's made of rubber and like falling to the ground. Next thing you know, you're getting hit in the face with a super kick. It's absolutely ridiculous what this kid can do. That finisher, specifically that he hit on Grayson Waller, just looked absolutely devastating. The OG cutter, that's what it's called.
Yes.
Just looked absolutely amazing. Kofi after the match, Javon Evans gets the 1, 2, 3. Kofi after the match at ringside, we see a little bit of conversation between them, and Grayson's like, "Hey, why didn't you help me?" And Kofi said, "You should be able to do this on your own. You have to. If I do that, you lose the match. You get disqualified. You know,
They did
you got to
make
do this on your own."
They did make sure to mention on commentary that Grayson Waller is not an official member of the New Day.
Right. Right. He's but they said he's a couple good matches away from being an official member of the New Day. I don't see that happening, and it's not like any kind of like Big E thing, because like, you know, I've never been against them adding members in Big E's absence.
Honestly,
just
Jones
think-
would have worked out perfectly if none of that other stuff outside of wrestling happened.
Hey, Kevin Owens worked well for a couple weeks. Remember that on SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Big O.
Oh God.
But yeah. And having said that, like, I think he's a good fit and everything, but I think there are better fits. And I'm not really, so even though I've been impressed by what I've seen from him lately, I'm not really sold.
What I wouldn't mind is a Grayson Waller face turn, and then we eventually can get him and Austin Theory and kind of get something out of that and revisit that, because I still want to see that match. I still want to see that match.
I'm seeing the future. This is how we get to the face turn. They keep stringing him along, and he gets a win. And he's like, "Am I in now?" And they're like, "No, not yet. You need a bigger win." And he gets.
Or are we going to DX and Hornswoggle him?
He eventually gets fed up with it, turns on them, turns face.
So here's my fear with that: if Waller's the one to turn, out of frustration as a bad guy, does that turn the New Day face?
No, Waller turns face.
That
they're still the heels in this situation. Waller, on the other hand, he's not a baby face, like, you know what I mean, high-fiving people and everything. No, he's a direct, like, get the job done kind of, you know what I mean? Like, the crowd might be cheering for him, but all he cares about is winning that match.
No, I'm not necessarily in disagreement with you, but I've seen cases where, you know, they do something like that, and it has the complete opposite effect, because what would make more sense to me, I like your idea, one tiny tweak. Grayson Waller actually does win, gets on a nice little hot streak.
Right.
And the New Day instead still turns on him and then brings in a new member simultaneously. And I have an interesting person to throw in there. that could swerve the fans and would be
Chris
very
Jericho.
interesting. No, Javon Evans. Javon Evans becomes the new member of the New Day.
It doesn't fit with his personality right now, and I don't think he's ready to like go that route with his character.
But it does feel like they're planting the seeds of it, though. Kofi didn't get involved in the match last week. They had a peaceful. They've been showing like it could be seeds of a face turn for the New Day, and then bringing Javon Evans in,
or heel turn for Javon Evans.
But I could see like it would put some fresh blood into the New Day, and he would fit them.
Yeah, I guess it would make sense.
And what you could do, especially let's say they go to the face turn, you could have them apologize to Big E, and Big E comes back and manages those three.
That might be a stretch, but
I'm sorry,
not the apology part, but to him coming back to manage.
I miss Big E being on TV. Like, I really do. Like, he threw a lot of stuff. Yeah, but his character of being out there and the energy, like, the New Day was not the same without him, and they haven't been.
Right. Oh, no,
even as heels. Even when they were heels.
Direction. I love their direction now, but I don't know. The Grayson Waller stuff is kind of throwing a curveball.
And especially without Xavier right now. That's also a tough one as well. Yeah. But moving on, Lyra and Bayley defeating the Kabuki Warriors this week, and then they get interviewed. It's been a while, so here you go. You get the all caps one. I'll be nice.
Good. All right.
But
I don't.
We get an interview after the match in ring with them, and they basically call out the tag team champions for a match. So the way it's looking right now, Fatal 4-Way WrestleMania, Irresistible Forces versus We're Not Friends versus the Bellas versus Bayley and Lyra, who should have been in a match last year, and they just
injured
Bayley so that Becky Lynch could return. Which
why not throw Kyrie in too?
Well, I think that we're going to see Asuka versus Io.
Oh, okay.
Or
when
we'll
Kyrie
see
turns.
Or we'll see a triple threat where Kyrie still turns and Io somehow picks up that win still.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what it feels like at this point because Io's not going to be involved with Rhea's feud or anything.
No.
So I'm all about it's one or the other or all three. You know what I mean, and I'm fine with it either way.
I would love to see all three of them in a match together, and then maybe
we need to see the Kyrie heel turn.
Yeah. Or the Kyrie face. They turn. We need to see the turn.
Because we need just one last huge Kyrie, and then Kyrie turns around all ashamed, and then turns back around and just gives her the back elbow.
Yeah, and even with the backstage segment later where they're talking, Io appears. Telling Kyrie, hey, you really don't deserve to be treated like this. You're better than this. You deserve better. But that also leads to taking us back to last week on Raw when Io got involved in Raquel Rodriguez's match. And now we have a match set up between those two for next week. So we know 2 matches for next week already.
And honestly, when Raquel came out in that backstage segment, there was quite a bit of pop for her. I don't know if you noticed that.
For who?
Raquel, when she appeared in the backstage segment.
I feel like Raquel never really fully crossed over into that full-blown heel territory with fans' perception. Because we're seeing the Raquel that we wanted to see 2 years ago now. Like that Kevin that because if you look at her and Liv, I almost see a mirror version of Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels
Okay.
from the 90s, you know, when they were
And that,
teaming together. And it makes
and
so much sense.
that analogy even worked with Roxanne when Liv was away.
But I feel like it works better with Liv. Just me personally.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It just works better in that aspect. But yes, you still even with
Would
Raquel's.
that make Dom Sonny?
Oh, I think you just gave me a headache. Oh, we don't have that sound effect no more.
Which one?
The Booker T one.
No, 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 no. I had to get rid of that a couple weeks ago.
Stupid idiot.
There's a long pause in it anyway. Yeah,
Oh man.
it was worth it. I had footage to upload.
But yeah, like I see the comparisons and it makes sense. You know, if it's one thing, I know a lot of people rip on the Triple H booking recently. If it's one thing I give him credit for, is not just revisiting that old stuff now. Because if you think about it, Attitude Era, early 2000s, we were revisiting kind of the 70s and 80s and the way certain things were done. Now
Yeah,
we're in the 2020s, and what are we doing? We're revisiting the 90s now, where we can put it in, you know, and put that twist on something and modernize it. And when it comes to the way that those characters, that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are portrayed, it absolutely makes sense. And I always thought Raquel looked too happy going to the ring when she first came up from NXT anyway. I always felt like she should have been a little bit more meaner coming down. You know, a bit more Kevin Nash without tearing your quads. That's all.
so we had the aforementioned backstage segment between Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman.
We
Heyman
talked
doing a
about,
big.
we talked
We,
about that,
we
the championship match, which then leads to the whole Seth Rollins thing, which,
right.
wow, like him
Yeah.
with the that it's those comments right there. That's like, if you were going to do something to create just but a moment where somebody that people can easily hate, because let's be honest, Heyman is one of the easiest people. If you want to hate him, you can, and he can get that emotion out of you even if you're a fan of his.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, he knows how to puppeteer.
Yeah. Uh. Yes. I think it was brilliant how Rollins, or sorry, a masked man came out and stood on the announce table. So automatically your mind goes to, all right, where are all the other ones? But no, there are no other ones. Hey,
Stephen
Stephen
Chambers,
Chambers,
thank
there
you
are
for
no
joining
other
us.
ones. The masked man reveals that he is in fact Rollins to almost kind of like lure, well, so Heyman has a restraining order. So there were
Yeah,
some
that
cops.
eventually gets revealed. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
there were some cops ready to, that was Heyman's big
just
plan.
just real quick, because you brought up him. When you remember when he was wearing like the jacket thing and he took it off, and there was another thing that looked like the exact same jacket, like under that. I think it was Seth Rollins that did that. Had one of his crazy outfits on at one point. He takes it off, and it looked like it was the exact same thing under it. If you go back and watch when he takes the mask off, he's
Yeah, he's
wearing
got
a
another
second
mask on.
mask on, and I flashed back to that exact moment.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Rollins reveals himself,
So were
and
we. So were we, Steven.
so Heyman reveals his master plan to protect himself, which is he has a restraining order, and so a bunch of cops come out and try to arrest Rollins, which at first Rollins was like, okay, guys, okay. But you look at Rollins and you're like, something's gonna happen. In my mind, I thought we were gonna see a bunch of other masked men come out to the ring and like abduct Heyman or something. But or at least divert the or at least divert the cops away from Rollins to protect Heyman, and then Rollins would be free to attack. But no, we see Rollins just get free, and meanwhile, Heyman is talking smack the whole time. And he mentions Rollins' family, and that's enough for Rollins to snap. Runs at the ring, destroys Rollins with just a big right. Um, and like that was pretty much the end of their physical interaction. Uh,
Heyman smiling in the
yeah,
corner as all this is
as
happening, as he's being
as
escorted
Rollins
out
is
the arena.
being,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which, so I know I kind of brought this up earlier in the stream of the Heyman Seth Rollins WrestleMania thing, right? And I was just talking about it as well. So you know what I would really do? So picture this: Seth Rollins has Heyman set up for the win, right? He has him set up. That's when Braun Breaker returns, and you do the ultimate thing. Paul Heyman pins Seth Rollins 1, 2, 3.
I
They
hate it.
could. Good. You're supposed to.
No, I mean I know there will be a big Braun Breaker return moment. I just don't see a Rollins Heyman match. Like,
Not necessarily in storyline. They can get the restraining order lifted, or you could say Heyman has every right to be there because he's a manager. We in pro wrestling, they figure ways around that stuff all the time.
and also Rollins still isn't cleared for Mania to our knowledge,
And
even
and
though
there's a
it hasn't stopped him before. But I don't see him pulling the same trick twice.
and this is also a case where if either one of them is going to be cleared, Rollins is going to get cleared first. So if we're
Yeah.
going to do something to where, you know, you're going, if you can't get ready to have that match set up and know what you're going to do going into the show, there would be no better way than to set something up where, because we want to be.
We're trying out something new. Well, honestly, we have something to announce later that you specifically archives are going to want to hear. But it involves Sunday and why we're doing this now.
Yes. Um, yeah, something like the 30-day rule.
We
But
need that.
but it would just be the general idea of you're going to have Seth. If Seth can be him on the card, if Braun can get cleared enough to just go in the ring and do something like a spear, and you have some type of setup involved, because let's look at. We've already speculated that the Vision could be either in a multi-team tag team title match or be defending the tag team titles at WrestleMania if they win them next week. So you could kind of pull Heyman away from that because in a multi-team situation, Heyman's going to be no help at that point.
Right.
You know, and he's not needed for that with the star power that could possibly be involved with that.
But what about
Now,
Brock?
you two different Brock Lesnar and Obafemi happens night one. Seth Rollins versus Paul Heyman
Okay.
happens night two.
Okay. I'd do it the other way, but
Well, no, if you do it, so here comes the problem. You do it the other way. You would want Heyman to sell being hurt.
oh yeah, Heyman won't be in any shape after that match. Okay.
So
yeah,
you
you're right.
you do it so you do it night two. So or you do both matches night one and Obafemi and or the one match happens which takes Paul Heyman out of all that. No, I didn't play the sound effect. I actually gave you a round of applause. Um,
I think Brock Oba's definitely a day two match.
honestly, I want to say that match on either night is either third to last
Open
for a
day
third
two
to
opening.
last, or no, but this is on either card. It's either the opening match because that would be a hell of an opening. Let's be honest. If this match was happening 2 years from now, we could be potentially talking about that could be a match that could supersede something and become the main event. But since Oba's not ready for that spot, you know, and
Two
you
years
have,
from now, Lesnar will be in a wheelchair.
yeah, especially if he takes multiple power bombs. I think that was,
First time opening
I
night
think,
too. No, that's later in the card.
yeah, that could, you could potentially have that under the main event. In all
Honestly,
honesty,
that might even be a night one match also.
I agree. I do agree with that. That being a night one match. But yeah, there's just so much that you could do with Heyman, and Heyman has been got physically involved 2 weeks ago with Seth Rollins curb stomping him. Like I feel like they're leaving it open ended that anything could happen.
I think the least likely I think it's more likely that Breaker's ready to go than we get a Seth Rollins Paul Heyman match.
You know, if there's another thing I would throw out there randomly, and I think I said Seth Rollins Gunther on Sunday, but Seth Rollins LA Knight I wouldn't mind seeing as a last minute booked match somehow. I think that those two could go out there and that kind of revisits their feud they were having, because we got to remember LA Knight injured Seth Rollins.
Right.
He has a win over Seth Rollins. You know, and again, that could be a moment where LA Knight joins Division and Braun Breaker comes out and helps him win. Now we get the set up to the feud with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins going to SummerSlam. Unfortunately, I don't think that happens.
Hold on, we got one more thing that we haven't touched on.
Well, we got two more things we haven't touched on, but they're kind of one segment. I was just responding to a comment in the chat. A gauntlet match with Seth versus Division. If Seth wins, he gets Heyman, but why would he want Heyman back? Heyman turned on him.
Yeah, I don't like that.
At this point, it just wouldn't make no sense. Like, him always going back to Brock Lesnar will always make sense because it'll always randomly happen. And we know the history.
What I had in mind that we haven't gotten to yet was the Intercontinental Wow.
The Intercontinental Championship main event, but there is something that
Dirty Dom Mysterio with JD versus Penta.
But there is still,
but go ahead.
But there is still something to talk about before that, and that's the Dom was making his entrance. He has Liv and JD with him. Stephanie Vaquer comes out and attacks Liv Morgan, and they just brawl into the back. And you know what? You want to do that every week, getting us to WrestleMania, I'm fine with it, in all honesty.
Yeah, honestly.
Stephanie Vaquer has a point to prove now, being the newcomer. Just like last year, you know, when we talked about Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton, right? I bring this up for the reason being because I said the same thing last year when it comes to building new stars. You know, and now we look at what this WrestleMania card's shaping up to be. Obafemi Brock Lesnar. You're building a new star in Obafemi. You know, Stephanie Vaquer getting the moment. We had Io in the last 2 years getting those moments. We could have had Naomi in one of these big matches this year if Jimmy didn't knock her up. After that win at SummerSlam.
But I mean, at the same time, you have, you know, your Roman versus Punk, your Cody versus Randy. You know what I mean? You're like, guys, I'm sick to death of seeing matches. But at the same time, yeah, there are a bunch of like new stars they're trying to build and giving the spotlight.
And we need to do that now. Especially, like I said, if Obafemi were to go over on Brock Lesnar, you're automatically establishing him as somebody you see a future in. He doesn't need to be WWE champion or world champion this year. But
yeah,
I said, I think
he doesn't need the win though.
As a newcomer on the main roster, yes.
All he needs is a good show.
Now don't get
a good match. it doesn't matter.
Like I
He
said,
wins.
the only way Oba should lose is if it's a dirty finish.
No, Stephen Chambers. Tell me more.
Yeah, yeah. For those who can't, you know, yeah, I saw that.
That's awesome.
Talk about things where you automatically get called, yeah.
Like you have a wrestling talk channel on YouTube.
I never said I wasn't one.
No, I know, but like that's just an example of, things that
Yeah,
automatically.
but it's not like you have the party girls tattooed on your back.
You've never seen me with my shirt off.
You should take a chop for Billy Gold just for saying that.
I'm about it. Yeah,
And
let's
this will
go.
be your face.
How drunk am I allowed to be for this?
Well, Steven, I didn't call you a mark. I was calling the guy who had the tattoo. Unless you're the guy who had the tattoo of Stephanie Bakir on his back.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I stand on if you're
Actually,
going to. I,
that
st-
might.
I'm just on the thing that if you're going to build a new star and you want to light the rocket that's you're going to use for the next 2 years to have him as a world champion, especially if he's never going to have the opportunity to face Brock Lesnar again. If we were talking about something that could happen a year from now, that's a different story, Then I'm like, all right, Oba could lose now and then pick the win back up, Or it turns into a feud where he wins the feud in a rubber band match. That I would be okay with. But if this is a one-off, Oba should get the win. It doesn't hurt Brock Lesnar as the established star as compared to Oba Femi being the newcomer.
But
And
getting
that,
the loss wouldn't hurt Oba. As long as he has an amazing match, which he's capable of.
oh, no,
Uh,
no, I think either way this match is going to be absolutely an amazing 5 to 7 minutes of just hard hits after the other because we know a Brock Lesnar match
and
doesn't go no longer than that.
and honestly, like, who do you think they're going to cater to? Telling the story of Brock Lesnar's like build to retirement or Obafemi's ascension? You know what I mean? Like
Oba,
Like I think they see it like Obafemi. We still can do whatever we want with him, and
Chef, that is why you were not invited to join us for the post show because we knew you start late.
yeah, but you know what? Come on in.
I mean, yeah, if you want to come in now, I'll send you the link. No problem.
We're already running late. Why not?
Yeah, right. We'll just add another 2 hours to this. 2 o'clock in the morning. We're like, why are we still here?
What I was saying was like I feel like it's more important for WWE to tell the story right now of Brock Lesnar's like final run than it is.
So we kind of talked about this on Sunday, and I'll kind of rehash that a little bit just because this fits that. Being that, what if the Oba Femi loss is because you can light both fuses simultaneously. You can elevate Oba to another level with a win over Brock, and then coming out of WrestleMania, you have now Brock Lesnar just on a tear, destroying everybody because of the fact that he lost to Oba at WrestleMania when he feels like he shouldn't have.
Yeah, okay, I can see that angle.
That, like, I think because now you're going to be like, okay, and then you put Oba Femi into the category of when Brock Lesnar first debuted. You can now possibly have Oba go on and win King of the Ring and get a championship match at SummerSlam. You could have
Okay.
Oba win. You could have Oba win Money in the Bank, so that he can now stretch that out over the next year. If that was
Yeah.
the route they would, not that again, I don't think he needs a world title in the next year. I'm just using it as an example because that was the Brock Lesnar playbook.
No.
He
But you know who
debuted
does
the
need
night
a world
after.
title? You know who does need a world title in the next year and a Brock Lesnar match is Jacob Fatu.
We talked about that on Sunday as well. And damn it, Steven, you beat me to it. Today is the 25-year anniversary that WWE/WWF at the time bought WCW.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
That was a weird Nitro.
That was a weird Raw at the end, too.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, I don't think that you after Oba Brock, unless Oba loses, you don't rematch it.
I think this is a one and done.
Yeah, so do I. Absolutely. Chef BJ and DG Talk Wrestling have a big announcement to make at the end of their show. Yeah.
That's already new.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Nobody else knows. I mean, there's probably going to be plenty of announcements coming over the next couple weeks. To be perfectly honest,
honestly, yeah, no. We're kind of underselling. Like, there's very big things happening right now. Besides me splashing this beer all over myself.
So while we're waiting for Chef, we'll just continue this conversation. But I don't see any reason. Well, Chef, we'll talk to you about that when we go off there. I was going to wait to talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, maybe. Oh.
Are you going to be put? I'm waiting to see if he's going to put his background up or not and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's lacing. Oh, I'm sorry. He was lacing up his referee boots real quick. That's what he was doing. Man, we hope all those rabies shots did you good after the rabies you got from your pet chinchilla.
Yeah,
that
man,
only
BJ
knew about that.
That sounded rough, man. Rabies is tough. I'm glad you caught it in time.
But yeah, we'll bring Chef on.
What up?
Yes.
Oh God.
So yeah,
I put on my background shit.
I did say something about that, but I guess you couldn't hear me backstage.
I did not hear anything. There we go.
Oh,
that's better.
We're glad you recovered well from the rabies. Hope you're doing well.
I have rabies. Yes. Okay. Sure.
Well,
yeah, from the pet chinchilla that you only told BJ about that you got.
Oh, yeah, chinchilla. Yeah, I don't.
Somebody doesn't watch our show. All you have to do is watch like the first 2 minutes, and so 2 weeks ago.
Did you expect me to rewind and watch the whole thing for this before I came in?
No, not this.
No,
2 weeks
not
ago.
This, no.
2 weeks ago, I was like, "Yeah, Chef couldn't be here tonight. He's at the pet store picking out a new pet chinchilla." And then last week, I said, "Chef couldn't be here tonight. He's at the hospital being treated for rabies that he got from his new pet."
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Which oddly enough now.
I wish I could have known so I could kayfabe this shit.
See, now that I think about it, I've never heard of a chinchilla having rabies. So that's even more interesting. You might be the first case ever.
Like, how would that even happen?
We'll have to check Wikipedia for that.
It's that pet store. I wouldn't go to that pet.
In the chat, can somebody log into Ask Jeeves and look that up?
Ask Jeeves. You'll get a 404.
404 error not found. Well, shit.
Yep.
But yeah, so we're getting ready to talk about the Intercontinental Championship match. So perfect timing for you to come in for the main event.
Perfect.
We already talked about the conclusion of the night, so
yeah.
Okay. If you have any thoughts, we'll get back to.
Yeah. We talked about Liv getting jumped by Stephanie Vaquer during the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are up to the championship match itself, and it was a good match.
Really good match. A contender for match of the night, but it was cheapened at the end.
I disagree. So Penta retains the championship during the end, but right before the end of the match, Finn Balor comes out and he's just walking to the ring. He did not physically get involved in the match.
Right.
So that's why I say it doesn't cheapen it. Hey, Dom just stood on the top rope while JD went to go handle that. And JD just gets completely destroyed. I mean, why would you just stand on the top rope? Why wouldn't you still go for the frog splash so he has to watch you win back the title? These are things that go through my head with this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because that's on Dom. Then that's not necessarily on Finn. Finn's just like, hey, I'm going out to watch the match. Hit my music.
Yeah, that's
I
not
mean, how many times have
how
we
it
seen
should
people
work.
do that?
So yeah,
Oh,
I really enjoyed the beatdown. Afterwards, JD got destroyed. Which, by the way, I never
Oh, yeah.
realized how long JD's hair was till tonight.
Well, apparently he got a blowout before the show, so he was like, had the nice straight, luxurious hair.
Yeah, at
Well, if any of us would know, it's you, BJ.
Yeah, I mean,
You've got the
I
most
don't,
luxurious hair out of all of us.
I know, but I don't do anything special to it. Like I bought like ex-girlfriends gift certificates, like to get blowouts, like at salons, but like I don't know firsthand. This is just what it is,
I
unless someone
I
wants to
think we
grade
should
it.
find out what BJ looks like with a blowout.
I mean, it wouldn't be much different. I have very straight hair.
I
I'd
don't even
probably
know if
destroy
that's
my hair.
PG.
Blowout BJ.
There it is.
I don't even know if that's PG.
And that's
You
the
just
truth.
made the list.
What would be more interesting is if I had a perm.
Yeah. Get some like 80s glam curls in there.
Doesn't work for me, brother.
Because my hair, that's not what my hair does. Beer shampoo, okay, archive, sure. I don't want to smell like beer more than I do at work.
but yeah, Penta Dom, the match itself, really good match. Great main event match for the night.
Oh, absolutely.
The beat down to JD after Finn or during the match is still going, and he just launches him into the entranceway head first. It's a good thing that man has a big head.
Yeah. Well, it also makes him a big target. And like unbalanced because
But it also cushions a lot of that impact. The impact gets spread out a bit more than the average
true.
person.
So, benefits and detriments.
But then, yeah, Dom finally ends up jumping off the top rope, going for the frog splash, gets counter, gets rolled up 1, 2, 3. After that, Finn beats down Dom after the match. I'm looking forward to this match. We thought we were going to get this match sooner. In all honesty, after WrestleMania last year, props to WWE for being able to hold out on doing it and giving it to us at WrestleMania. I just wish it was still for the Intercontinental title.
I don't think it needs a title.
Well,
Whoopi Goldberg
wish.
dreadlocked BJ.
I wish.
Yes.
I would look ridiculous.
Yes, you would.
So, an interesting thing. I still haven't been able to have the time to watch AAA this week from this past weekend, but there was a thing with Vikingo where it's suggested that he could go after Penta's Intercontinental Championship.
Okay.
So that's kind
Alright.
of the direction where that's going. So now I turn around and
You
say
won't
this:
win.
What if Finn versus Dom is for the AAA Championship at WrestleMania?
I could see that. Yeah.
That'd be
It-
fun. I mean, AAA is a WWE brand, so it makes sense.
And
Announced next week.
that's the one. It's almost the 1 year anniversary to AAA being bought by WWE. If we go WrestleMania to WrestleMania, because that's when we
True,
first
yeah.
saw a lot of them. When the announcement was made, what, night 2 of WrestleMania last year?
I think so.
I believe it was.
So, announced for next week's Raw, we got Brock Lesnar's returns, the women's tag team championship match between Nia Jax and Lash Legend and versus Bailey and Lyra Valkyria. We have Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez, and World
Street.
Tag Team Championship match street fight between the Usos and the Vision.
That's all. I think we just got our card for next week.
I mean, they didn't mention like the 30 talk segments. And, Danhausen cursing someone. They didn't mention that.
Danhausen, Kurt. Yeah, well,
Cursing
Dan.
speed.
Yeah. Now he's going to be like, is he just going to slow down now? He's no longer going to be speed.
I know speed.
I slow speed.
No. I show
should-
break.
oh.
I show breaks.
So anyway, so we're caught up with where we started. Like I said, overall it was a good show. I wouldn't say great, but the last couple of weeks of the build up to WrestleMania have been a little bit better in my opinion.
I felt like I said at the beginning of the show, I felt like this was a more story-driven episode to where the last 3 weeks we've had better matches. Because
Right,
there was a lot of
yeah.
times I'm taking my notes and I'm like, backstage segment, okay.
It was, and you're gonna need that, but it was very story heavy compared to previous.
But then like you look at some of the events, you know, we had the Brock Lesnar Obafemi opening. We had the whole thing with Seth and Heyman. We had the DQ finish, the Usos being heavily involved in stuff. We definitely saw what we needed to see this week.
Yep.
And it's kind of that last show because next week's the end of March. Will be the last Raw of March, and then we're 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks away from WrestleMania. Now's the point where they're going to shift it into the next gear now, especially with the closing of Raw, which I'll give you the stage to talk about with Roman and the Usos.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely went after Punk, but Punk, you know, even with being beat down as much as he was, he's still laughing his ass off at the end there while he's rolling around in pain and saying he's not the one that's in trouble. So,
Yeah, I'm not the one that needs help.
yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I after tonight, I am fully rooting for Punk to win this. You know, I think Roman's
I
got to
don't.
win it, but I'm fully rooting for Punk.
I really don't have a dog in this fight. It's one of those things to where it's like I like having matches to where I don't feel the need to just root for one person to where I know that when the time comes, both guys are either going to pop me in the match or I'm just going to see
Well,
an
yeah.
excellent main event.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on that wavelength too, but that whole CM Punk promo about being an old man and not dyeing your gray hair, yeah, that resonates with me. So, you know, I found my dog in this fight.
I just still think, especially after last week, that Roman is more in Punk's head than Punk is in Roman's head.
Maybe. Well, Punk also has that whole Uso side of the family to deal with too. So, you know, I mean, he doesn't really have anyone coming to his aid readily. Roman seems more than happy.
But it also seems like Roman is telling the Usos he doesn't want their help.
But
you know,
he did tell him to get out of the
more
ring.
More than once. And then Jay just straight attacked Punk when Punk was like, no, maybe you should stay because Roman's going to need help. And Jay went into business for himself in that aspect and just went after Punk. And then Roman stepped in, Superman punched to the back of the head, and it's like, go. I don't need you here. Then you still have Jey Uso outside, like, get him.
Instigating. Yeah, Jay was the little yapping dog in the background.
Is Roman the tribal chief, or did Jay finally become tribal chief?
What you got, BJ?
I was just gonna say my highlight of the entire segment was Punk's line about Nolan Ryan beating up Robin Ventura and still pitching no hitters.
Yeah.
Priceless. For any old school baseball fans, man, they know what is up.
Yeah, look that up on YouTube.
You got to be in your late 30s or 40s at least to understand that. But yeah, no. Look up Nolan Ryan beating up Robin Ventura.
Yeah.
That's
Ventura was an idiot.
But overall, I was overall happy with Raw tonight. It wasn't what we've seen the last couple weeks, but it wasn't a drastic dip. It was just they went more story heavy this time, and that's fine.
More action would have served them well tonight.
Yeah.
Let's bring up what Stephen Chambers said in the chat there about
okay.
Yeah, those last couple of comments he's got there. Yeah, it depends on Usos. Roman could win with interference. Punk retains. I'm really interested in those next two comments, though. Yeah. What if the Usos turn on Roman?
What,
Okay.
All about it.
Jay
Did-
got in Roman's way.
All right, and we've seen that
Yeah.
already. We've seen that already, very much recently.
Why you got to bring that up?
Um,
Might as well bring up the Sid.
I don't see where it benefits anything with the Usos turning on Roman, because the Usos have been already acting on their own, specifically Jay.
Mhm.
Well,
has
in my
been-
mind, it would spark their heel turn and their heel championship reign, which would be amazing.
But
You're
then I also see it as that, and we talked about this on Sunday, that my feeling of Roman is he's never veered away from the tribal chief character. They kind of teased it, but he has never actually changed. He never apologized for anything he did.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He still
And
stands his.
honestly, he's never been face. He's never done
No.
anything face.
Yeah.
He's always been the same character since then, just without power.
So
Right.
this is more of him just being like, hey, I don't want your help. Stay out of my way. Let me defend our family. It wasn't your father he said something about. Eh,
Although he did, though, didn't he? He did
well, it was
mention
Roman.
it.
It was Roman's father.
No, I know. Oh, yeah.
The,
But
the
at some
dead
point, I
father.
know
The
he
dead
said
father.
something
I'm
about
just
Rikishi.
going on the dead father comment, because that's the cherry on
Right,
top of
that was-
everything.
yeah,
That was the trigger
Right.
of all this.
But I know at some point he had to have said something about
I could see that Roman showing up next week, and there's a non-title match with Punk and Jay, and whatever's going on, they are definitely making sure the Usos are in orbit of it.
Yeah, and which, like, honestly, like, I get what they're doing, and that's fine, but what would this feud be without the Usos' intervention? Like, if the Usos were on SmackDown right now, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I would be more interested in. You don't want to muddy the waters, but although like I said, I get what they're going.
Yeah,
for.
they did that. They did that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Like, no.
Yeah, I loved it.
And the whole thing up until the match was good. And then we got the match, and the match was shit.
The match up, yeah. The
Yeah.
build
The
up
match
is
was
great,
terrible.
but then that's kind of where, yeah.
The same
that
thing. The same thing happened with
probably-
Matt and Jeff when they had their I Quit match.
That was probably the highlight of the Bloodline storyline for me, was like the Jimmy versus Jay part of it, before they were all together.
The height of it for me personally was before it fully formed, and we had the Hell in a Cell match, where we were working up to that, because the Bloodline was always meant to elevate Jay, and
Yeah,
just working to the moment, and them having that Hell in a Cell match, and him finally be like, fine, I'm in.
right.
You know, and this Jay has always been the one who has been high-headed, because if we go back and look at that, he was the one that said Sammy should never join.
Hold on.
And,
Yep.
and
The Usos
Sammy
aren't
was a...
twins, are they?
Huh?
The Usos aren't twins, are they?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they
Yes.
are.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm thinking. Okay, I'm thinking of the Hardys, where like Matt's a couple years older than Jeff.
Yes.
Yes.
Never mind. Just catching up with the comment.
But we see everybody's in the position they need to be in. And, you know, even like SmackDown last week when we talked about it, seemed like Solo's going through a change, which could be a lot of the Lantern. And I saw a really funny comment just real quick about that. What if they were to kick Solo out and somehow Finn goes to SmackDown, and that group now becomes a version of the Bullet Club in WWE? If you look at all the members of the MFT outside of Solo, it's the Bullet Club.
Yeah. Jeff Cobb, the Tongans.
Kala would be the only one who.
Right, he was never a part of it.
But all right, so we're looking at 3/4 of that group without Solo has that history with Finn. Maybe Tala just goes on and stays with Solo. So it's a 4-man group and not a 5-man group. Because it does seem with the 5-man group, unless the 5th person's a female, it always seems crowded.
Well, and if that 5th person is a female whose name is Nikki Cross, then you forget she's there.
Honestly, as far as the MFT go, like definitely, I think they need to break them up because we haven't got to see JC Mateo to 10% of his potential at this point. You know, we haven't
Agreed.
gotten to see the Tongans, you know, we haven't gotten to see a lot of what they can
Well,
do.
we were starting to get that.
We're,
Injuries happened.
yeah. Oh, well, of course, of course. But I mean, like Tala, he's barely been used. You know what I mean? These guys can go. I really hate it that they're just kind of being thrown in once in a while. You know what I mean? Um, and I get it. The feud is more so between Solo and Bo, but
Mhm.
yeah, man, this needs to this they need to go their own way because we need JC Mateo doing his own thing and just absolutely murdering people.
Yeah,
That needs to happen.
I feel like that there's a change coming, and the way this is building up, it's rare we get to see the Wyatts on a PLE, but WrestleMania could be that moment for them to have something to do, and that would be something that could be a match you could see undercard the main event, literally be the second to last match. Because I don't think the fans would be something where it would be a little less investment by the majority.
Question. Is
Answer.
this arena open?
Allegiant
Is it,
Stadium
yeah.
does have I think it has a retractable roof, yes.
Okay, because like I don't know, the Wyatts in the daytime. If it's, I could see them going on early in the show as long as it's like
Well, I said second to
close.
last match.
I know what I'm saying is I could see them going on like earlier in the show as long
Yeah.
as the roof is closed because you need a darker ambiance for the Wyatts.
Well, thinking
Yeah,
that if
But
Fireflies
WrestleMania,
won't
yeah,
look right
if WrestleMania
at
starts
nighttime.
at like if Mania starts at 7 here, it's going to be the afternoon there regardless for
that's what I'm
3/4
saying.
of the show.
But
So
like if the roof is open, then later in the show makes a lot more sense as far as the ambience goes. I just
Mhm.
don't see it storyline wise and you know flow wise, match card wise fitting in there.
yeah, so that's us pretty much.
Yes, they're all vampires.
Boy, oh
Okay.
boy.
All right, let's put the comment up so everybody knows what I'm referring to.
Ah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, I
didn't
was on
just
another
randomly say
screen
that.
there. But so anyway, we do have a couple announcements for upcoming shows this week.
All right.
None of them involve Lucha. I just saw
take it.
you go, or
Let's see on.
or JDC as Fandango, whichever.
That's more of
Dun, dun.
you got to put
Alright.
your shoulders into that one a little more.
Anyway, this
While
Tuesday,
BJ dances.
tomorrow night on Indie Spotlight, wrestling referee and manager Craig Prendergast will be joining us on Indie Spotlight.
And
There
we're
is
still waiting to
working-
hear from another potential guest.
Yes, which if that does get confirmed, pay attention to social media or the post page on our YouTube page here. So it'll be posted there as well. But next Sunday, we will be having a special Indie Spotlight segment on the show.
Oh,
As it'll be in the final hour.
okay.
As somebody we've been trying to get on the show and been figuring out logistics of time and everything. This upcoming Sunday, we will be interviewing Controlled Chaos.
All right.
Papa Juice and Kid Chaos, father and son tag team, who are killing it on the indies right now.
Do not wait for this.
Yeah, they
Nice.
just did a tour in Canada a couple weeks ago. and
Very
that's one. Yeah, and that's one we've been trying to get for a while.
And these guys have a match for the SPO tag team titles this Friday.
Oh,
against
Oh,
Black
I'll
I
be
forgot.
there.
I forgot to upload those graphics, but because I do have those. So tomorrow night we will reveal the full card for that. We gotta save something for tomorrow.
Oh, of course, of course. And oh my God, I have seen it. It is an amazing card. We have so much to talk about tomorrow night.
Yeah, we also have to
More to talk
we also
about
have to
tomorrow.
reveal the loser tomorrow, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gotta happen too.
Yep.
I'm confident.
Oh, I'm
I haven't
definitely
watched-
confident.
I
as
haven't
well.
watched back, but I'm pretty confident.
I still have to watch Backcountry and see what happened. So yeah, I have no idea if I won, lost, whatever.
I am
Should we
100.
tell them?
Should we tell him what?
I'm just kidding. That was just.
BJ has
Well-
no idea keeping
That was
track of who
literally
scored
nothing.
what.
I mean,
No,
I
I know I did good. I know I did good.
Okay,
I know I did good too,
Yeah.
and I know who lost. but-
we know you know.
But
who lost 'cause you
but
looked at
tune
the
in,
database
tune
already.
in, everybody. Tune in Tuesday and find out. And on that note, this went incredibly longer than we wanted it
If it
to.
went 10 more minutes, you could have said tune in tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, tune in tomorrow. I'm the Danger Ginger.
Did you guys ring a bell to start this? Do I need to ring it
No.
to end it when we get? No, okay, good.
No, but funny enough, a little side note, real quick. Yesterday we rang the bell to start the show, but I don't remember if I rang the bell to end the show.
I
Oh
don't
wow!
think
So,
we did.
so let's ring it and to end this show, and then that way this has just been one marathon with a break in between.
Nope, I don't
No.
like it. That
Like-
doesn't
it's
work
like
for me,
Curtis
brother.
Axel in the Royal Rumble.
Yes. Or Braun Strowman with the greatest Royal Rumble championship.
But anyway, once again, I'm the Danger Ginger. That's BJ, and that joined us at the end. As always, Chef the Ref, and we will catch you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. for Indie Spotlight. Until then, everybody be good to each other, and we are out of here.
Bye.
What's our outro?
Wait, hold on. Before I go, what do you mean? Why didn't I have another announcement? What are you talking about, Archives? I'll see your comments still. I just want to know what you're talking about. Because I made 2 announcements.
I think he meant. Never mind.
Hey, wrestling fans, this is Rick Blade telling you to tune in. BJ, DG, best wrestling talk on YouTube.